Since 2016 and offer a variety of breaks from pick your teams and pick your players to random teams and drafted teams, mixers, and more. We built this app with the collector in mind, with features like scheduled drop times, custom notification settings, and earn rewards on purchases, among other things. And we want to be a one-stop shop for collectors, which is why we've added services like PSA grading and eBay consignment straight from breaks. We are a PSA authorized dealer and offer grading services from value to walkthrough. All you need to do is fill out the form on our website within 24 hours of a break completing, and we will take care of the rest. All submissions for breaks come with a review and wipe down of your card, and you won't be charged anything until we get your card back from PSA. eBay consignment is a similar process where you will need to fill out a form on our site within 24 hours of a break completing for any cards you'd like to submit. All cards will be listed next business day for a 5-day auction starting at 99 cents. And after the sale, you'll have the option to be paid out via check, PayPal goods, or break credit. The links for these services will be in the description of every break. If you have any questions about how the app or how our breaks work, feel free to message us on your preferred social platform. Or jump in the chat of one of our breaks and the break host can help walk you through it. Summer is here and Real Sports Cards is hitting the road on June 16th. I'm talking about the 2025 Real Sports Cards Summer Road Trip, where we'll be virtually road tripping across the country, with a few in-person stops mixed in, giving away something every single day of the road trip tied to the city that we happen to be in that day. All right here on the Real Sports Cards app. But that's just the beginning of the fun, because similar to our collector games last year, you'll be able to accumulate points every single break for a chance to win break credit. The point totals for this will reset weekly, so no matter when you decide to join the fun, you'll always have a chance at the top spot that week. But there will still be a massive prize for the person that accumulates the most points during the duration of the road trip. The road trip begins June 16th on our way to Fanatics Fest in New York City, and will continue through September 7th when we make it back to Minneapolis in time for the grand opening of our new store. We'll have more info on all of this coming soon, which will be posted right here in the app. In the meantime, start grabbing your favorite road trip snacks, crafting that perfect playlist, and filling up on gas, because this is going to be a road trip to remember.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday afternoon. Friday morning. Early Friday morning. I've been here so long, it feels like afternoon already.
It feels like yesterday.
Feels like yesterday.
Feels like late yesterday.
Let us know who's here hanging out with us. Welcome to another rendition, another episode of All Card Ship.
That's right. That's right.
Back in Minnesota again today.
Yeah, we actually had an episode of All Cards Ship.
Correct.
Live from New York City, and Emil just decided to not post it.
We dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, so we legit set up the podcast studio in New York City, live from Fanatics Fest, did a whole show, recorded it, everything. Because we didn't have hardwired internet, so
Correct.
We couldn't actually stream it live. So we just did it, we recorded it, and then never posted it.
The episode that never was.
That's right. I'm disappointed because, we even talked about how we didn't have Stoppy with us.
Now, see, I think that's why that was a big thing. It just didn't feel right.
No.
Didn't feel right without the
Didn't feel right doing it without the doorstop.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, we had a really awesome, Fanatics Fest preview podcast, but nobody got to see it. So
that's deep in the archives now.
It's okay. He got fired.
Well, for sure. That wasn't the only time I got fired.
A few times last week. Yeah,
par for the course.
Yep.
What up, Cappy? What's up, Al? Switchwolf got that. I said we dropped the ball. What up, Jake? What up, Smells Skunky?
Yeah.
Al said he's having issues. Al, if you could send a screenshot to me, I'm going to test this real quick on web. Oh, interesting. That didn't work. There's a bug.
Oh, Al found us a bug.
Cool. I'll write that down, Al. We'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Replying to other people in chat. Casey's in the house over on Facebook.
What'd you think of Fanatics Fest?
Fanatics Fest was fantastic. I don't know if any people watching were there, but they really, really elevated their game on Fanatics Fest from last year. They elevated the experiences side of things with the leagues. They elevated the merch side of things. They elevated the card show side. Like, to me, all around the entire show was a better experience. Seemed like they came harder with athletes and celebrities.
For sure.
It was really, really good.
Yep.
And so my hot take of the morning.
Cat.
My hot take of the morning is that Fanatics Fest will become a significant threat to the National Sports Collectors Convention.
Interesting.
In the coming years.
I think the crazy thing, I don't think that's the craziest hot take ever.
Yeah.
It was different. You know, we look back to last year, the first ever Fanatics Fest. It was good. There were plenty of people there. It was cool. It was, I don't want to say it didn't live up to expectations, but we felt like there could have been more. It could have been better. And then this year we came back and we're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
clearly
that
Fanatics
crazy.
felt that way about it last year too.
100%.
Like, this could have gone better. This, there are things that we can change and improve because they did, right? So I don't think it's bad to say that about the first year of Fanatics Fest, because Fanatics Fest felt the same way. They changed things.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you're looking from the card show side of things. Like, so we weren't set up in the card show like we were the first year. But every dealer I talked to, and I'm sure you did the same, crushed it, both from a being able to buy perspective, from a selling perspective. Like, all these guys did really, really well. And I think, collectors that came in specifically for the card show felt a lot better about it as well, and were able to buy a bunch, and there's all sorts of sweet stuff. And like, that's where I think of, in comparison with the National, like the National has that as well, but the National also has a lot of stuff that isn't as relevant anymore to the modern day collector.
This is the biggest risk or threat that the National has. The National has all of these grandfathered in dealers who carry over their booth year to year to year to year, and is just a sea of vintage.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like, there's plenty of people that collect vintage.
Yep.
But the modern hobby as it is today, like, we know the vast majority of product gets opened via breaks.
Mm-hmm.
The National sticks breakers in the back corner.
Right.
And so breaks drive a huge component of it. And then the modern singles market just has so much liveliness to it,
mm-hmm.
right? It is so healthy. Vintage, pretty static, doesn't go up and down a whole ton.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you see some like macro changes as like, mantle rookies go up and down and things like that, right? But the market is really driven by modern.
Mm-hmm.
And the National just doesn't get enough of these guys' booths.
Correct.
Right? It's been too difficult for modern dealers with great cards to get booths.
Yep.
And that was different at Fanatics Fest. Had almost all modern dealers with relevant cards. Like, you literally could go in there as a modern collector and pause at every table and
100%.
see things that you are interested in.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was really, really different.
Mm-hmm.
So the National, I think this year made some more tables because they opened up the upstairs hall.
For this upcoming
National, they opened up the upstairs hall.
Right.
And I did hear that some of the modern dealers were able to get space, but they got put up into this upstairs hall. I feel like the National needs to make breaking a more prominent part of the show, and modern dealers a more prominent part of the show. If anything, put the vintage guys up in that hall.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm biased. I'm a modern dealer.
Right.
I'm not a vintage dealer.
Yep.
And the vintage guys would argue against that and say, this is our show.
Yep.
This is our vintage show. But I think that there's a risk that the vintage dies with the dealers.
Right.
Right. And I mean, that may sound really
It's awfully bleak.
may sound really bad to say. Maybe that's really, unkind.
Yeah.
But that's just the reality of it. And right now, it's not vintage cards that are bringing the crowds and the masses of people, multiple times more people than the National used to draw, is not because of vintage, it's because of modern.
Yep, 100%.
So
yeah, Jake makes a really good point. He says most young collectors don't care about vintage either. Like, these kids want to chase Jaden Daniels and JJ McCarthy and
Correct.
Ellie De La Cruz and these guys. Like they don't know who Whitey Ford is and they don't care.
No, so when they're bringing 100,000 people into a card show now, 80,000 of them are like, all of the increase are modern collectors.
Correct.
Not like, oh, look at how many more people are collecting vintage now. It's just not how it is. And, unfortunately, it feels like the people running the National just want to operate as status quo, continue to go on. And we know what happens to those kinds of businesses. They get passed over by the people who are willing to do it different and adapt. It's like the
single industry.
taxi cabs and Uber.
Yeah.
All over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the National is the taxi cab of the industry, and Fanatics Fest is the Uber of the industry.
Yep.
So, and Fanatics Fest, you could say, well, Fanatics Fest, there's not enough dealers, everything like that, but that can grow. Like, they can continue to add. I mean, it's the Javits Center. It's enormous.
It's huge.
Like, that show can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Yep. It felt pretty big to me already this year.
Yeah.
They grew pretty substantially already.
Yeah, I mean, but from the card show part of it.
Yeah. It wasn't national size.
It's
obviously.
it's not even close to national size. Like, the National from a card show perspective is 10x or more than what the card portion of Fanatics Fest is.
Correct.
But if the modern dealers don't do well at the National or can't get tables at the National, they're just gonna ditch. And if there's no modern cards at the National, then collectors are gonna ditch.
Yeah, why would you go if you can't buy stuff that you're interested in? Can't see stuff that you're interested in. Just makes sense.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there was some cool vintage at Fanatics Fest. It was just limited and definitely more on the higher end sales.
Yeah, I mean,
things.
There was, we saw dealers. This dealer had 5 52 mantles. This dealer had 7 52 mantles.
Yeah.
This one dealer had 100 T206s.
Right.
A ton of graded 50s and
there was some
famers,
cool stuff.
and there was really cool stuff.
Just wasn't all the bulk vintage that you see everywhere at the National.
Right. No one's completing their 1963 set.
Correct.
By thumbing through a box of 63 commons.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I got my football jersey.
Yeah. So they did. This is with Mitchell and Nesters, I believe it is.
I forget.
Fanatics, Mitchell, whatever it is, but they did all 32 teams on a football jersey.
Football jersey.
Even as a non-Vikings fan, the Vikings one is the best one. Like the Norse kind of detailing on that was sick.
I'm digging it. Yeah, like the Norse. You can see the Norse runes on there.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I bought a Caitlin Clark jersey at the Nike booth.
And at the Nike booth, they let you personalize the jerseys with patches and things like that.
Yeah.
That were unique to Fanatics Fest.
Correct.
So what'd you get on your Caitlin Clark
jersey? I did. So
jersey?
it was just a base regular Indiana Fever jersey. It had the Nike logo here. Then on the right side, I did another Nike logo, but the Cactus Jack one, the Travis Scott one. So I got the Cactus Jack Nike swoosh. And then on the laundry tag on the bottom left side, they had a cool circular Fanatics Fest NYC 2025 patch.
Yeah. So you have a 1 of 1 Caitlin Clark jersey.
100% a 1 of 1. Yeah. It's cool. And they had a bunch of other players too. Clark was the only one I was interested in, but they had Paige Becker's Dallas Wings jersey. They had Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Jaden Daniels, Aaron Judge. They had a whole bunch of guys to choose from. So then they did other collaborations, like OVO had some F1 stuff, which is Drake's brand. They had some UFC stuff. Antisocial Social Club had set like all these relevant brands. Travis Scott obviously had his own booth and had some merch set up there. Lego is cool. I should have brought my little Lego.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be an actual figurine.
Turn your head a little bit more. What kind of a homer does this?
The worst part about it is Fanatics Fest didn't even share it.
Oh man.
I was like, oh, this is cool. Fanatics Fest is gonna repost us, and I'll be. That didn't work out. So
I did not get a logo carved into my head.
I got my hair done and my nails done.
You did. He got his nails done. I mean, these guys, these breakers, they're all like internet hand models. So
yeah, I might
start. They should have clean fingernails.
I might start getting manicures more often.
I mean, nobody wants a breaker who's got grunge in their fingernails. And...
I am 100% the only breaker in the world that did a manicure at Fanatics Fest and then broke when he got back with his manicured nails.
I don't know. That's debatable. I bet somebody else did. I bet
Maybe.
Mama Breaks.
True.
Mama Breaks gets manicures all the time. Stephanie gets manicures all the time and then breaks. You did not do something novel. You just copied Mama Breaks.
That's true. Sorry, Steph. Whatever. No, it's cool. I had fun goofing off. All the activations were cool. I was able to do the WWE walkout. Obviously, the haircut and the manicure, which was the shop, which is LeBron's brand. They had Premier League set up there. I got to see the Premier League trophy. All these different soccer teams, football, like all this sort of stuff. We were just running around and like we talk about the card show part of it and why it might pass up the national. The other side of it, all the activations, like I could only imagine going there with like Amberly would have had a blast if you went there with her just running around doing all these things. So you think of families coming in for a card show, but then having everything else and seeing all these athletes and celebrities walk around, and they're doing the Fanatics games, so you could actually watch. I was able to watch Gronk shoot into the washing machine.
Like the Fanatics games was like pros versus Joes, like where they could compete to win $1 million, a Ferrari, and then like a gold LeBron rookie.
Right.
And Tom Brady won. Imagine that. Tom Brady won $1 million. Rigged. I forget who got second, but a teacher got third.
Yep.
So a teacher got third place, won the gold refractor LeBron rookie.
Yep.
And then Brady bought it from him for $250K.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool that he did it. Or that he bought it.
Should have bought it for $1 million. What is Tom going to do with that $1 million?
Nothing.
Government gets 60% of it.
Yeah, it would have been a great write-off for him.
Seriously.
Bigger story.
He could have bought the card for $1 million and had a card instead of $400K after the government takes their piece.
I would have taken the $250K from Tom. And I think he got a signed jersey or something too.
Yeah, that was not the biggest card sale of the National either.
Of the Fanatics Fest, you mean?
Or of the Fanatics Fest. That was not the biggest card sale.
Oh, no, yeah, there's a big boy card that got sold. The coolest story about that is Roth, who sold, you're talking about the Jane Daniels, obviously,
yes.
Right? So the Jane Daniels 101 Black Finite Prism sold to the Commander's owner, I believe, for $500K.
Yep.
So Roth, who sold the card, also owns like the Black Shimmer from FOTL and a couple other 101s from Prism and a whole bunch of stuff. He also owns the throwback Black Prism 101
that got pulled in our store by one of our customers who sold it to Roth.
Exactly.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. So I think Nate, our store manager, texted us saying the guy that sold to him texted like, please tell me that wasn't the one that I sold him.
Right.
That was a little bit lesser of a card, but yeah,
right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All sorts of stuff going on there. Yeah, Fanatics Fest was a really good time. And we did something differently. I kind of mentioned we weren't set up in the card show portion of it this year. we had our own booth set up, and we're playing Plinko and hanging out and having a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And as much as we talk about the potential risks and the potential threat to the National, like the National is an epic event, and we're stoked to do this. Like I just want to see the National get better
100%.
and embrace modern a little bit more. I think the National can learn a lot from Fanatics Fest.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah,
so
especially after this year.
But we've got the National coming up in what, 4 weeks?
Yep.
And it's going to be a riot. Like, we have a blast. Even though they tucked the breaker pavilion back in the back corner of the building, like, you got to walk all the way to the back to get to us. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time.
Yep.
So many of you guys will be breaking live from the show. So many of you guys come and hang out. We can hang out with you guys all week long. We are going to be doing a special event that we'll be announcing soon. We have a ball game that we're going to do. We got 3 suites. So we've got 3 suites. I'll just announce it now.
Perfect.
We have 3 suites at the Chicago Dogs game, which is American Association Baseball. And their stadium is in Rosemont, just on the other side of the highway. So we've got 3 suites. We've got a limited number of tickets for those suites. But we want, if you are hanging out at the National, we want you guys to come and hang out with us at a Chicago Dogs game. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. National, as always, every year is a blast. So it's crazy that it's coming up in just a month because it switched the timing too. Last year was National in July, Fanatics Fest like 2 weeks after in August or something like that. So this year we got a little bit of a buffer, the month buffer, but it's going to come up quick. I mean, June's already over. We got July coming up on our tail hot.
Right. Yep. So it'll be fun. We're ready. And you guys can play Plinko for break credit.
100%.
Plinko was a hit at Fanatics Fest. I mean,
the board was sweet. We got this custom made, real sports cards branded Plinko board.
And the final numbers are in. We got, when you talk about like how was Fanatics Fest for us as a business?
Yeah.
We had over 300 new app downloads from Fanatics Fest.
Yeah.
So a lot of new people coming into the community. So if you see new usernames or you see somebody in chat or the community pages, with questions or anything like that, make sure you rally around these people, help get them oriented to how the app works, how the community works, everything like that, because we want to welcome in all the new people with open arms.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think that's about it on Fanatics Fest, right?
Yeah, that was good.
What else is going on?
It was fun. We had, there were the new products. We didn't talk about the products at Fanatics Fest, so we've been breaking some of those, like the Cactus Jack for the 2nd year.
Yep.
Series 2 with the New York parallels.
Lids exclusive boxes.
The Lids exclusive hats are really cool. They were awesome last year. They're cool again this year.
100%.
So a lot of fun stuff. So when we do that kind of stuff, like our goal is just to bring a little bit of Fanatics Fest home so that you guys can, have a little bit of fun with those exclusives.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of any of them, so they'll be gone quick. So, but they've all been really good. We've got the other one that we haven't done yet. That if we gotta find some stuff to mix it with is the Formula One Fanatics Fest boxes. That we have a couple of those that will mix in for probably just one break. So it's cool. They did more exclusives than they did last year. I think it was just the extra one with the F1 because they did Cactus Jack and it was Topps Chrome last year.
Right.
But obviously switching the Series 2 with Chrome not out.
Right.
But Chrome's coming out quick. I mean, that's gonna be right before the National, no?
Yeah, it is the week before the National. So we're 3 weeks away from Topps Chrome baseball.
Perfect.
So ready to rock and roll with
it
that.
Feels good now we've got a solid amount of releases. Obviously we're going back to 24 for a couple of them. Inception was the week of Fanatics Fest, and we've been breaking that like crazy since, and
it's been really good.
It's such a cool product.
It has been really good.
Yep.
And then another 2024 product today.
Big one today.
Dynasty Bay. Let's go.
Big one today.
I mean, get your skunk hats out. Listen, guys, Dynasty is not for everyone.
Correct.
Like, we work really, really hard to make the Real Sports Cards app a place where collectors can buy their favorite teams to keep in their collection. Like we worked really hard to make this a collector's app. There is no getting around the fact that some of these products are more gambly than others. And Dynasty is at the top of that list, guys.
100%.
The top of the list. We're talking a $5 case, 5 cards. So we are doing a pick your team break on it. It has plenty of risk reward, but make sure you understand what you are getting into. If you are playing in Dynasty, 5 people will get a card, 25. Well, maybe you could get 2 players from the same team in a case.
Double up.
But there are only 5 cards for 30 teams,
Yep.
guys. So know what you're getting into. Some of us have a little bit more risk tolerance than others, but there's no doubt there are going to be some massive cards coming out of this.
It feels like Dynasty just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, and then you look at this product, and it's not only the rookie class, but it's also the things that they're doing within the product.
Right.
The Bobby Witt, all-star game used baseball autograph, and the sponsor patches, all game used, like all this sort of stuff. The logo men, obviously.
4 years ago, one of my biggest gripes about Topps high end was that a Mike Trout autograph in a high end product sold for the same amount of money as a Mike Trout autograph in flagship.
Yep.
Because there just seemed to be no premium in the singles market for what collectors were willing to pay for high-end baseball versus, traditional flagship type baseball autographs.
It really took a while to catch up because it had been for football and basketball.
Right, and
for so long.
We saw that, like, the difference in football and basketball with, like, NT and Flawless,
even Immaculate,
and Spectra, and some of these, like, these cards sold in the secondary market as singles way higher than the, base score auto.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And, like, I was frustrated, like Topps has not figured out high end.
Correct.
And I'm not sure, like, I feel like Topps has definitely done things to make it better, but the market has evolved on baseball to where a auto coming out of Dynasty is now a NT or Flawless type secondary market.
100%.
Way more than it was a handful of years ago.
Yep.
So
yeah, and the patches help, but then just the overall sentiment of the product in collectors' minds through the secondary market, through the singles market, is like Dynasty is king.
Right.
Those patch autos are king.
Yep. So, and it is, Chris, it is all patch autos.
Yep. All numbered to 10 or less.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for Dynasty.
No,
I'm excited for Dynasty.
It's fun.
We've got a couple other cool products coming out today. UFC Chrome 2025. And you talk about how Topps and Fanatics keeps, making products better. You've got some autos that you haven't had before. Like Bruce Buffer was obviously in royalty, but he's got autos in Topps Chrome. You've got John Jones signing for the first time. You've got Bo Nickel signing for the first time. Some other big rookies in there. So it's cool to go out and get these guys that literally have never signed cards before for some of these products. And we're seeing them do that again in baseball. Obviously, we talked about, like Barry Bonds signing again, Mookie signing again. Getting these different guys is really big, actually.
Yeah. I mean, a Bonds Dynasty patch auto.
I don't think he's in Dynasty, unfortunately.
No, I mean, but they got the deal done.
Correct.
Like, that's in the future cards.
Has to be, 100%.
Like, that's stuff that we want to see them bringing players back in to do these guys.
Well, yeah, it's still 24, technically, so, they just couldn't get him into this one or whatever.
Does Koufax, has he ever had a Dynasty patch auto?
Oh, let's look on eBay.
I don't recall ever seeing a Koufax Dynasty patch auto. That could be an absolutely epic card.
Let's take a look. That would be wild, actually, especially with a game use patch.
Right. Get a Koufax jersey and
Let's see.
Like Dynasty would be what you would want to put that into.
Oh, this is sick. 2019 Dynasty Hank Aaron Koufax dual on-card auto. Not patches, but that's
no
wild.
patches. Yeah, no patches, but that's pretty sweet. Dual auto.
There's some Topps Bunt autos.
We're gonna pass on the Topps Bunt.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, 2018
Oh,
Dynasty. So yeah, he's been.
He's
in there.
got some. That's epic. I kind of want to go buy one of those. Those are awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. They've got Sadaharu O in Dynasty this year.
Ooh, I like that.
You got Sadaharu. You got Jason Tatum, who he combined with the Cardinals. You know, is like a Cardinals first pitch thing. C.J. Stroud back in there. Usain Bolt. And Bolt has a dual auto with Ellie, which is super sick.
That's cool.
So throwing some guys in there like that, and then not even to mention all the cut autos of all these guys, you know, Mantle cuts and cuts and cool Papa Bell cuts and stuff like that. So yeah, that's some fun with Dynasty.
Yeah.
So in terms of other products coming out, like I said, UFC Chrome today. We had Finest Soccer this year's Finest Soccer released yesterday, which is loaded with color, super sweet. Have you seen what Yamal rookie stuff has gotten up to, right?
Crazy.
If you don't pay attention to the soccer market, don't know who any of these guys are, just look up Lamine Yamal. His stuff is wild.
Bonkers.
He's got second-year autos, and he had them in Flagship, and Topps Chrome, and Finest, and it's like it's similar to like a Paul Skeens effect, or some of these guys that have had, you know, first Bowman autos that have been so huge, you know, Cags, that their second year autos are super high as well. Not near as high as the rookie autos, but Yamal's second year stuff is just nuclear as well.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that many autos out there. So that's the next best thing, and they're still getting crazy. So Topps Finest Soccer is good. Messi autos in there as well. You know, all sorts of guys, Holland. So yeah, that's been pretty sweet as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, I'm not sure what we have coming up next week, actually.
I haven't even looked ahead at next week. I've been working so hard at getting caught back up this week.
That's the one bad
Fanatics
part about
Fest. When you're gone like that for Fanatics Fest, you just get buried.
Yeah, 100%. Let's take a look at next week. We've got Score Football was supposed to come out today, which is the first product of 2025. That got pushed back to next week. So I'll finally be able to chase my Shador and my Dylan Gabriels next week.
Which will be interesting because we should see 2025 Panini licensed football and likely 2025 Topps licensed football next spring.
In the spring, right? Yeah, because they are starting with 25, right?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think that's the plan.
Yep. Let's see. Luminance is supposed to come out next week. I'm not sure if with Score getting pushed back, they'll push back Luminance. And then a little bit of a lighter release week next week because of Friday being the 4th.
Right.
So.
I mean, don't sleep on Fleer Scooby-Doo.
I don't know if we have much of that coming at all.
Do we have any?
I don't
Fleers?
know.
We might not have ordered Fleer Scooby-Doo.
I kind of hope we have some. That'd be a cool product, actually. What's a Scooby-Doo, PMG going to get?
Was Scooby-Doo in the Warner Brothers Cackawell? I think Scooby-Doo was in Warner Brothers Cackawell.
Yeah.
So
I would think so. That's a Warner Brothers brand, right?
Yeah. We should have another one that we just ordered, a new Cackawell coming. There's a new Disney Cackawell coming.
We did get that one?
Yep.
Perfect.
So new Disney Cackawell Cosmos.
Yeah.
Is coming. So we'll have a little bit of fun with
Actually,
that.
The
Aura Disney was so much fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for that. The Disney stuff's cool. And we're waiting for some more Topps Disney stuff to come out.
Right.
Or some type. They only did kind of the limited type drops.
Right.
And they did Chrome and they did the Sapphire. But supposed to be coming out with some more, you know, they're working on Marvel. They did a couple Marvel releases. I need some Disney stuff to come out.
Yep. And I'm ready for some Upper Deck DC.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We will have Skybox Metal Batman.
Yes.
For sure.
Fantastic.
So I'm excited about that.
So Smells Skunky had a question about the app. Any chance of having the chat being shown on replays? So currently the way this works is the chat's only visible prior to the break and after and during the break, and then the replays don't have chat. The challenge with any, like, you know, like every other platform, the truth is other platforms are gassing replays entirely.
Yeah.
Right. So like Whatnot made some announcements that they're getting rid of the replay, like they're getting rid of the video, not just the chat. Right. So the challenge that all of the streaming platforms have is storage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when you're storing video and you're storing chat logs, it accumulates and it costs money to store data. And so that's the main reason behind the choices that we've made. And again, this is why companies like Whatnot are now saying, like, we're no longer going to archive video because it just costs too much to do this. It costs too much to archive it. So that's why we kind of are integrated the way we have it. The video storage that we have is actually embedded YouTube. So when you go back and watch a replay of a break, you're actually watching an embedded YouTube video. So we don't have to store it, right? So and the chat from, you know, that side also, and our chats, our chat provider and our video provider are different services. So that's one of the reasons. So yeah, and that's, you know, that's one of the loads that it has. Like one of our biggest fixed expenses is AWS.
Yeah,
is web hosting. So being able to make things accessible, and readily accessible to out there is expensive. We have to do it on our back end, like on our back end too. Like if we keep our back end database running real time at all times for our own stuff, it gets so expensive to let that just continually run. So we actually do periodic manual updates on that for our back end data management too. So it gets to be a lot. So yeah, it's I guess, yeah, Jake puts it the right way. It's data, the storage side of it's not the bad part of it. It's having it be accessible. That's the difficult part.
Yep.
So
yep,
that's the main reason.
We had a couple updates to the app in this past week, and one big one that you guys can mainly see, and that is the rewards carousel.
Well, all of our carousels. So we did a tweak on our carousels. So you'll notice that the carousel that used to say available now says scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is we're gonna break the for sale carousels into two carousels now. So we're gonna have the scheduled breaks, which is what you guys are used to. Any of the breaks that we drop with a live break time attached to them, those are going to be in that top scheduled carousel. That's how we've been operating. The name just changes. We're using the available name for a new carousel that is going to allow us to periodically drop breaks without a scheduled live time. And so where we're going to play with this is products, you know, when you get to kind of to the end of a release, you know, where we're stopped filling it within a couple of hours, like our normal break shifts, we know there's still demand for some of those products. And so we wanted to have a way where we can post something that we know may take 2 days to fill.
Yep.
Right? Because, you know, I mean, Inception is still full on, but as we get closer to the end of Inception, there are still going to be plenty of people that want Inception, even if we can't fill it in 3 hours.
Yeah. Or like a Topps Chrome Black, like right now, because
Inception
like right now came out and we switched gears to Series 2 and Inception, and then we haven't been able to go
but
back.
But there are still people that would want Topps Chrome Black, and so we might not be able to fill, you know, schedule it for 7 p.m. and fill it in 2 hours, but we can drop it without a live time, chip away at it a little bit, and as it gets closer to filling, we can throw a scheduled time on it and it moves up into the scheduled carousel. So those are the two big changes, along with rewards now having its own carousel. So you're going to actually see us you do rewards a little bit differently now that it has its own carousel. We kind of held back a little bit on rewards because it was mixed in with all of the breaks, and we didn't want you guys to have to do like excessive swiping to find things. So now that rewards has its own carousel, we're gonna do more like one-off rewards. You guys saw this morning we dropped Pete Crow Armstrong autographed helmet. Obviously, we have one. We dropped JJ McCarthy autographed mini helmet. Obviously, we have one. So now that we have that its own carousel, we're going to do more of those one-off type things, along with the blasters and the other things that you guys have really enjoyed.
We do have more hats, Jake, so we'll get back on those soon. I know it's been a little bit since we've done the last one, but we do have some more.
Yep, we've got more. We've got more colorways coming on the Real Sports Cards hats.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, but no, I'm excited. We'll throw up some cool stuff. If you guys have any ideas on things that you want to see, let us know, because we're pretty open to the feedback on that. So we'll throw up some random things, test some things.
Yeah, I mean that's
a
huge advantage now is if we hear requests for things and somebody's like, hey, I'm interested in grabbing a bunch of spots if you're willing to do this product that you haven't done in a while, we can just throw it up there. Without having to worry about how quickly can we get this full.
Correct.
So, that's definitely something we're going to be listening for feedback on and input on. I don't hate the idea of vintage. Whether it's a vintage box break or whether it's vintage set breaks. We did a couple of years ago, we did the 86 Fleer set break, which was a ton of fun. That was a blast. And I love the idea of going out, finding a cool set, doing a break. Like I've always wanted to do like a set from the 50s.
Right.
Like a 56 complete baseball set break.
Yeah.
Would be
cool,
really, really cool. So I think it would be fun to experiment with some more of those kinds of things. And it's easier to do those things, again, without having a scheduled time that is supposed to go live and trying to fill it in 2 hours.
Right. Yep. So. Exactly.
Jake's requested bigger sealed products than blasters.
We can for sure throw a limited amount of hobby stuff up there, and
he wants to throw a dynasty box out there. That might be a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. But we'll have a bunch of things that we can try with the rewards program.
Yep. 100%.
So Reed on Facebook asked if we're doing a rip night at the Saints game again this year. We did sponsor a trading card day at the Saints. We're not gonna do the world's largest pack war like we did last year. So that was our big thing last year, was the world's largest pack war. This year we're doing something a little bit different for trading card day at the Saints. They've never done it before, so I thought it would be cool. We are doing, every year they do their Saints set. Their Saints set of cards for the players. And we thought it would be really cool to do an Usher Tainer card set. So the Usher Tainers are a big part of the Saints experience, but they've never had trading cards before. So Sego, the karaoke singer and coach, and a bunch of the Usher Tainers are now going to have their own Saints trading card set. And they're going to be taking turns in our booth at the front of the stadium to sign. So you can actually get some Saints Usher Tainer autographs on your card set. So that, I think, something different, something fun, never been done before, and I think Saints fans will have a good time with that.
Do we have a date on that one yet?
We do. Yeah, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Yeah, I think it's the week we get back from the Nationals. So I think it's that first week of August. First week of August, like the 8th or the 9th or something like that.
Yeah, I had a Wally the Beer Man card when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I have a Wally the Beer Man signed something somewhere. Did you ever get a baseball?
I do have a Wally the Beer Man autographed baseball
Minnesota Twins legend right there, guys.
in my nickname collection. Yep. So
awesome. I'm gonna scroll to see if we had any other questions that we missed here. If you guys have any other questions for us, shoot them in the chat. Miller's in the house. He said a Browns and a Vikings fan in the same stream. It's the best. Better than a Michigan
I can't rag on Miller because he's a Judge fan, and Judge is absolutely dominating baseball.
It's ridiculous.
I can't say anything bad about Miller today.
It's ridiculous what he's doing. They did announce that he's going to be the captain of the next World Baseball Classic team.
Okay.
They've started kind of throwing some guys out there. So right now, I think the three that I've seen for sure are Judge, Witt, and Skeens have accepted into.
I mean, it's
into
quality. It's quality as like the faces of baseball. Like these guys are the faces of baseball right now.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, Al, we're gonna work on that. We've got our meeting with our tech team right after this with Steve, the main developer. So we will definitely be bringing that up. That's the first I've heard of it. So we'll get them working on that. And yeah, Jake, I'm seeing the refreshes as well a little bit on the computer here. So we'll chat about that as well. Let's see. Al says,
every time you roll out something new, you break a couple of things.
100%.
So we rolled out our new carousels this week, along with some other things and things on the back end, and
yep.
pretty normal to find some other small little bugs that pop up when you roll out those updates.
Yep, 100%. We've got NHL draft tonight. NBA draft last night or 2 nights ago.
I stand by my opinion that the NHL draft is the worst draft event of all sports because none of these players are relevant for years.
I wouldn't say none of them.
None.
What do you mean none of them? You can go back on each of the last 10 NHL drafts and see guys coming in and making an impact right away.
Boring. I'm going to draft this guy and then he's going to go play college.
That's the main difference
so
with it.
Dumb.
That's the main difference. But not the top guys. Like last year you had Macklin, came in, won Rookie of the Year. Year before you had Bedard, came in, won Rookie of the Year. Year before that,
one player. Yay.
Well, no, it's more than one player.
One player.
It is interesting in terms of, strategy wise on how they do it and how so many of these guys get drafted and they go play college for 3 or 4 years.
So weird. I also think that it's dumb that a guy like in the NBA, that a guy like Dillingham gets drafted 7th overall, and then doesn't even play basketball for a year.
Well, I mean that's a managerial mishap done by the organization.
I don't know, but I mean, wouldn't you rather have a guy playing G League?
I don't think so.
And actually playing basketball?
Yeah.
Than just sitting on the bench for an entire season doing nothing? It just seems like a waste. An absolute waste.
I don't know. It seems like you're a bigger fan of the NHL draft now because these guys are actually playing for a few years.
Barf. College, who cares? Getting drafted and playing college is the dumbest thing ever.
I would argue that the Wolves made a worse mistake picking another 7-foot Frenchman that's not going to play at all. Granted, he wasn't 7th overall, but then the Rob Dillingham pick.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Let's take this dude that averaged 4.2 points a game in France and give Rudy a friend.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they don't care if they have a center who scores.
No, not at all.
I mean, Rudy's the worst offensive center in the league.
Yeah, they just drafted the second worst offensive center in the league if he ever plays.
Bad.
What do you think? Is Cooper going to be legit? Are you a Cooper Flag fan?
I think Cooper will be fine. Yeah.
I think he's going to be legit.
He's going to be good.
Adam Silver walked out, like, right in the main announcement. There's a video that posted. Someone in the crowd yelled, "Dallas was rigged."
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, the fact that you can bomb a trade the way they did with Luka and then get the number 1 overall pick against all odds is kind of garbage.
I don't know. They did the same thing with LeBron and who else? There's a few of these guys that got drafted to teams. I was like, Maybe this lottery system is a little interesting.
We talked a little bit about Aaron Judge and his performance right now, but there are people talking about Cal Raleigh as being an MVP contender this year. What are your thoughts on Cal Raleigh being an MVP contender?
I mean, he's not going to win the MVP. So I think all the top, like, part of the main talk with this is you look at Topps Chrome coming ahead and the MVP buyback, and Cal Raleigh does not have a base card in Topps Chrome.
So everybody's getting super excited about the what if. What if Cal Raleigh wins the MVP and he doesn't have a base card in Topps Chrome? What do they do about MVP buyback?
He's not winning MVP.
What if he hits 70 home runs?
I expect to see a little bit of regression from Cal Raleigh going into the second half of the year.
What if he gets hotter in the second half of the year?
Well, then he may have it. I wonder, what are his odds at right now?
I don't know, but I think he's on pace for like 67 home runs. I think I saw Judge was on pace for like 55, and he was on pace for like 67.
That's wild, actually. Let's see the odds right now. It is Judge at minus 900 and Cal Raleigh at plus 375, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
That's wild. What, have you seen what his singles have done this year?
Everyone, oh yeah.
Everyone that you need to dig into your old boxes. If you ever bought the Mariners,
pull out your old boxes of stuff and go find all your Cal Raleigh cards and sell them immediately.
I mean, he's batting 275. 32 home runs is wild. As a catcher, it's ridiculous.
I mean, he's got 32 home runs before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's
I mean, like
wild.
I said, he's on pace for like 67. But Judge is hitting 360
with 28 home runs. Like, come on now.
Yeah. So he's on pace for 60.
Yeah. How many did Judge hit last year?
Not sure.
Where's home runs at on this list?
I think he hit 58.
58 last year. Yeah, and he's on pace for.
It's on pace for 60 right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, but the batting average is the most impressive part of Judge for me.
100%.
Because baseball today is all about not caring about batting average and just hitting home runs. Like, baseball has fully embraced the player who hits 250 but hits 30 home runs.
220. That dude can hit 220 and hit 30, 40 home runs, and he's going to start every single day.
Yep. And, like, Judge is inhuman to hit 365 with those kind of home runs. Like, that's Bonds-esque.
Yep.
That is Bonds-esque stats.
That's actually what Raleigh did last year. I didn't see that before I said that. He batted 220 with 34 home runs.
Right.
And was an everyday catcher.
Yep.
That's perfect. Like, that's what you need on a team. Now he's batting 275 with 32 home runs at the halfway point. That is ridiculous. Yeah, Judge's averages. 322. He's 361 right now. 322 last year. 267, 311, 287. Like, to have that power and be putting up near 300 numbers is ridiculous.
I mean, you got a guy like Judge who could hit. I mean, he'll hit 500 home runs.
Sure.
And he could threaten to hit 600.
Yep.
He really could. He could threaten to hit 600 home runs and have like a 295 batting average. That's career. That is an epic player. I mean, he'll be the best player of this era.
Oh, don't get on the Trout thing again.
Well, Trout's not.
Well, he's a different era.
Trout's a earlier era.
Yeah.
Trout's an earlier era.
I think Judge, when you look at the 2015 polls,
he's going to hold his own against Ohtani. Like, it's easy to get really excited about Ohtani because he hits and pitches, and he's the best at both. But like Judge is really going to be there at the end of the day as like who was the greatest of that period.
100%. Yeah, I was just looking at the batting average leaders. Judge at 361, Jacob Wilson at 345 as a rookie. Whew.
Red rookie.
Red rookies, baby.
Red rookie.
100%. Jeremy Pena's batting 324. I did not realize that. Yeah, Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Wilson is essentially a lock for Rookie of the Year if he doesn't get hurt.
Gotta be, right?
If he doesn't get hurt, he's gotta be an absolute lock.
I am assuming his odds are very, very high. He is minus 1,000 with Nick Kurtz plus
ahead of his teammate. Ahead of his teammate, right?
Yeah, so. You got Cags, Roman Anthony. Jason Dominguez is still up for Rookie of the Year this year. It feels like
Isn't that weird?
He's been
Doesn't it
for
feel
like
like
3 years.
Yeah, it feels like Dominguez has been playing on the Yankees for 3 years, but he's eligible this year for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Oh, and then you got odds for NL Rookie of the Year. Mizorowski is ridiculous. These pitchers, man, what's going on with pitching?
Come out of nowhere?
It's wild. I mean,
the duel this week with Mizio and Skeens was awesome.
Yeah.
Skeens did not throw well.
No.
But that was really cool to see those two guys pitch against each other.
The worst part about that is you get MLB trying to hype this matchup up. It's like, can't miss matchup, and it's 1 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Jake's getting sore because we're talking about all of the teams except for our hometown Minnesota Twins. But,
yeah, let's talk about the under 500 team.
Every time we talk about the Twins, he's mad.
Yeah.
You don't want me to talk about the Twins.
No.
You know how I feel about the Twins, and they're my team.
All I've seen about the Twins lately is under 500, super disappointing, even compared to last year's disappointing season. Apparently, there's some clubhouse strife.
Why did these fans think they were going to be good? Jake, explain this to me. Why did you think the Twins were going to... I'm just going to call you up. Why did you think in a million years the Twins were going to be good?
What do you mean? They made all those off-season moves.
Barf. They need a new owner stat.
And probably a manager, too.
Ready for the Twins to sell. I'll be back in with a vengeance when the Twins have a new owner that's going to come in and change the way things are done. Hopefully they've got some good people on their board.
Twins sitting nice and solid at third in the AL Central. 481% win percentage.
Yeah, hard pass.
Guardians are right where we need to be. Right at 500 on All-Star break. We hit a little postseason push. Get that wild card spot, and we'll be in the ALCS again. A lot of people at the Twins win in the AL Central too. That's a crazy thing.
That was ridiculous.
I'd said the same thing.
That was ridiculous.
I said the same thing about the people having the Red Sox as like a lock for the World Series, and they obviously blew up. Where are they at? Yikes! The Red Sox are.
I don't see raising ticket prices as a viable pathway to increasing revenue. The truth is
you can't sell tickets for
the
free.
Revenue has to come from other sources, and the revenue comes from people actually like falling in love with your franchise again, and all of a sudden buying merchandise at like crazy high new levels and stuff like that. Like these guys don't pay for their stadiums with ticket sales. They don't pay for their player salaries with ticket sales. So I don't see that changing a whole lot. Plus, I mean, supply and demand is a real thing. Like the reality is it's hard to raise ticket prices when you have a half-empty stadium already.
You can get tickets for free too. Like Twins tickets are so cheap. You can go to a Twins game for nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about like, season tickets. Like, would you ever do, like, I would never do season tickets for the Minnesota Twins because you can always get tickets and you can always get tickets wherever you want to sit.
Yep.
So there's zero value to season tickets for the Minnesota Twins.
Correct.
So Wolves, on the other hand, totally different story.
Totally different. Yep. Right. Joe says, why don't you buy the Twins? Joe and you too.
Yep. Sounds good. I'm on it. Let me get right on that. It's that extra $1.9 billion that I just got stashed away from selling Series 1 baseball.
Big league. Funny. All right, that's enough Twins talk for the day.
I mean, we're at 10 o'clock, so unless you guys have any last-minute questions, you guys know we're an open book. Love to talk about the hobby. Love to talk about industry things. Love to talk about the business and share about our operations. I saw somebody earlier ask about the new store.
Yeah.
Specifically where it is. We will be making that announcement in August.
So a month away.
You got a little bit of time to wait, we will be announcing the location of our new store in August. Until then, tip-top secret.
It's going to be cool, though.
We're excited. We've got digital renderings for the build-out, everything like that. Kind of epic. I'm really excited about how this store is going to shape up.
Yep, it's going to be sweet.
Yes, Chris, Wisconsin, our friends Tom in Wisconsin are hiring breakers. So you may have heard, Bone has decided to go get a different job, decided the evenings weren't quite working for him anymore. These guys work tough hours, right? I mean, it's tough. It's a tough shift from 6 in the evening to 2 a.m.
Mhm.
Like, that's a tough shift. So Bones decided to go back, get a 9 to 5, and so he is wrapping up his time with Real Sports Cards after a lot of years, number of years.
Yep.
So we are hiring in Wisconsin for a new breaker. So if that's something that you've ever been interested in and you're not boring like Emil, then give us a call or shoot us a message, and we'd love to talk to you about that. Yeah. So, I mean, drawback, you live in Wisconsin, but
no thanks.
But it's a great job. It's a great job.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So, yeah,
cool,
awesome.
Anything else?
I think that's what we got.
Cool. Breaks dropping now.
Breaks are dropping.
We've got some meetings ahead, talking about some more app stuff here right now, and getting ready to get into the weekend here.
Let's go.
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Good seeing you after a week off of, recorded and not dropped podcast in Fanatics Fest. Never going to live that one down.
Time to call it a day.
Yep.